Blog Talk Radio.
This is America First Patriot Podcast. Defending freedom and liberty is our motto. We put God first and politics second. I'm your Patriot host, Chauncey Brown. Welcome to the show. Today we have in the studio former New York mayoral candidate and former congressional candidate, Darren Aquino. He is thinking about running in New York again, possibly in 2025. Or maybe in Florida. Without any further ado, let me bring to the mic my friend Darren Aquino.
Hey, Chauncey, thank you for that nice introduction. I'm always happy to be here with you, brother. It's great. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to always have you on. Darren, there's a lot going on. Let's talk about you first. I know you got a lot on your plate. You're thinking about 2025. You're thinking about in 2025 either running for mayor or possibly public advocate. Talk about that for a little bit.
Okay. Well, a lot of folks, some patriots, America First people up in New York, some real Republicans, not rhinos, to Darren, come back and run. I said, listen, I'm settled here in beautiful Naples, Florida, where it's safe, and it's beautiful, and it's clean. And they said, come on, if we raise the money, would you consider the mayor or at least public advocate? You have 4 decades of advocacy service. This would be an easy win if things change with the current mayor, with Eric Adams, and people keep him, at least that seat is the second highest seat in New York, and you'll be the voice of the people. Police officers, folks that serve in high spots, asked me if I would do it. And I simply said this: raise serious money, because we're up against a serious machine that, with the corruption and all that, I have to be able to fight off. And if I can't fight them off, I'm not going to upset my lifestyle, because, as you know, Chauncey, it drains you. It's a physical experience, if it's anything at all. And a lot of work, I had open heart surgery 17 months ago, and I'm doing fine. And I welcome the challenge as a native New Yorker, and the challenges that are going on in New York are despicable. Putting veterans in the street, and I know you're a veteran, I come from a veteran family, putting illegals before homeless, disabled veterans is a despicable act, and it's a bad face for America. These are the things that encourage me to go back and fight. Listen, we're New Yorkers. We know how to defend our city. We all came together. We came together far and near for 9/11 until we found out about that other conspiracy. But New Yorkers can unite and get behind the true values of America. I mean, New York is the greatest city in the world. We just had a few bad leaders recently. This guy and Bill de Blasio, and Letitia James is a mess. And the current governor, I mean, if they all three agree, and I want the listeners to pay close attention to this, and this is the thing that got my goal. If they don't take care of veterans, they'll never, ever take care of civilians. Not ever. And I hope your listeners understand that. I would come back as a patriot. I would run one term. I'm not there to be a career politician. I may have to stay two, because to clean up their mess can take 2 terms. But I'd put a lot of things in effect. Immediate, massive deportation. I would protect New Yorkers and take that tab that the governor and the mayor is giving you as a New Yorker, the $12 billion that it's going to cost to house those 180,000 homeless illegals that maybe there's 10,000 of them that are hardened criminals that are roaming the streets, raping, killing, stealing, and all they did was increase the problems for New York. And why did they do it? To get votes and control through the Democratic Party. How sad is that? How sad is that? So, on that note, I would come, but they have to raise at least $5 million, and even to go up against the public advocate who came into this race and listened to these numbers. He was worth about $250,000. Now he's worth over $7 million, and he was halfway into his term. How did they get the money? All of a sudden, they're wealthy. Congress members. Our country is screwed up. They took it from us. That's what they did. So now America First is Americans standing up. We're not a radical movement. We are patriots coming together from all parts of the states, from every state in the union, to say, wait a second, you pulled the wool over our eyes.
Right.
We were entrusting you with honorable and noble seats, and you stole our country. And now you bring shame to veterans? That's enough. We had enough. So I think the movement, and that's why it's so great that you have an America First podcast. You know, God comes first, amen, and we're so grateful for that. And, that's where we got to focus. We got to focus on God and save the country that God gave us. He expected us to be good stewards over the good things that he gives us, and it's a daily basis, Amen. And we have to pray every day. We have to pray in every thought, right? Jesus said, "Acknowledge me in all your ways," because we don't know his ways, but he's a little tired of our ways. So,
Darren,
you're making me come earlier. Jesus, I can see him now saying, "Are they not going to get it right? Do I have to change the clock and come sooner because they need a little help down there?"
Yes,
but in all seriousness. So yes, we do. And in all seriousness, I hope your listeners understand. I was wearing a Trump shirt. Let me tell you this, in between wearing a Trump shirt. It's a shirt my friend had made because he knows I'm casual acquaintance to the Donald from coming to the family restaurant in New York, famous Rayo's restaurant up in East Harlem where I grew up. And it's got all his pictures with different looks, the golf pads, his suit, his tie. So I said, "Oh, that's a cool shirt." So everywhere I go, people say, "Nice shirt." 9 out of 10 people say, "Love that shirt." I said, "Thank you." I'm coming out of True Lux in Naples, a nice restaurant, seafood. Got to eat light now after the heart surgery. So I'm coming out, and I'm standing there. So the guy's looking at me. He's giving me a look like, is he stalking me? What's that look? Is he an admirer of the shirt? But he's looking, and he's going to his car. The valet brings the car, right? And the valet pulls up. He gets in the car, and he crawls up slow to me. I'm saying, "Oh, man, this looks a little dangerous. I don't even have my gun with me, Right. And he rolls up on the car, and he gives me this mean face and flips me the bird, gives me the finger. I don't know him from Adam. Why are you doing that to me? Why are you provoking a fight with me? I'm standing there with my wife, and I jump in the street. I said, "Come back, you punk. Don't pull away. You had the nerve to come up to me. Get out and say something." But what I'm trying to bring out in that, what did I do to him that inspired him to be angry, aggressive, and use foul actions towards me? What did I do to him? Not a damn thing.
He has Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, this is what people got to be careful. Now, somebody trying to affect your opinion or your freedom of that thought and gets hostile towards you, and the Democrats are saying, "That's us." This is a violent man who made a violent gesture in front of a woman that shows he's got no character, right? Because there's a lady present. He has no character. He made a violent gesture, but he ran away like a punk. Get out of the car and we'll settle this. If you don't like it, okay, you don't like my opinion, my open expression of the president, okay, I get that. But what's the violence for? You don't know me. I don't know you. You know,
That's
I don't
all
care if
they
you.
have.
But
Darren,
imagine that. This is what we're going to be up against again.
Darren, they don't have any policy issues that they can address. And the supporters and followers of Joe Biden are mentally irrational based on their emotions.
Oh, God, yeah.
The character assassination, flipping a bird, really, I mean, that stuff is irrational behavior. That's not even normal.
Of course, my wife is there standing. He looks and he's looking at both of us like, you know, he waited till he got in the car. If you really were a real man and you had these delusional thoughts, you would have said something to me in the street, and then we would have brought it on, you know, like, I ain't running. I'm from New York. If you got something to bring it. You know, I'm not going to go anywhere.
You know, Darren, though, imagine that a shirt can get this man all twisted up. That's sad.
Oh, yeah.
That only a shirt.
It's very sad. Just a shirt with a picture that is impacting the country. It's even impacting more. It's impacting over the world. Other people from England are saying they need that man back. They need that guy back with the orange hair. I laugh at some of these tweets and say, they want the guy back with the orange hair. He knew how to run the country.
That's right.
That's right. Chauncey, it is so horrible to think that, you know, I have to, and while I'm campaigning and helping my friend, I'll tell you about him in a bit, while I'm campaigning with him, you know, I have to be careful. You know, we travel, I have one of my bodyguards come for them because this seat for Congress is a very important seat, and the guy holding it is a communist, and he's serving in our Congress, and he's had the seat for 24 years because they control the vote through the voter roll, and they steal it that way. They put in legitimate names. Now, we went to a conference. We had the guy, this doctor, I forget his name. He did the test and all the stats, and you could see it, how they stole it. He says, it's not your county stealing it. It's the state. The state is in control of it. And they changed it, and the people that they got in there, like this Mario Diaz-Balart, he was, I think, the stepson or the nephew to Fidel Castro. And you know that there's a radical communist movement in Miami. I'm sure you heard of it. And he's down there. That's part of our district. I don't know how it got into Miami. I have no idea because we're Collier County, and the district runs all the way up to Miami. The bad news is, here's some bad news now. People that we thought were good, like Ron DeSantis, they flipped. They went rhino. Now, my other friend told me, my friend Johnny Fratto, he said Byron wouldn't even take a picture with me. He says, Mario is his friend. I said, that can't be. Byron's my friend. But I'm not aware of him saying that. Why would he say that? We all know Donald Trump didn't like Mario Diaz-Balart for a lot of the obvious reasons. He votes 36% conservative every time. He's supposed to be a Republican, a true Republican. How do you vote 36%? He voted to send the money to Ukraine instead of taking care of veterans. He voted to send the money because, here's why, he's a Democrat that infiltrated our party. That's what rhinos are. Republicans in name only. It's worse than that. These are criminals, outlaws that infiltrated the party, and we need a drastic clean house. And the Democrats need the same because the parties are no longer working the way when we were younger guys, you and me in the 80s.
That's right.
They had control. They were working together. Now they're not.
Exactly.
Now they're outlaws.
Exactly. I respect the Democrats in the 60s and 70s for the most part. You could have a rational, philosophical, political conversation with them in a debate. Okay, on issues and policy. Today, you have the fake news media. All they do is character assassinate people and talk about people's past. They don't talk about policy. They don't talk about real issues affecting America. It's like we're watching a clown show. Well, I don't even watch mainstream media, but all it is talking points. They're not dealing with the people's issues.
Oh, my God.
It's sad.
It's very sad. But the way they come out is how they try and mount a defense against that sham of a debate where he was just so. His wife coddled him like he was a 10-year-old and he was doing a spelling bee. Well, again, good, Joe, you did so good. Look at that. You answered all the questions. What was that? What was that? Did you see that?
I saw that.
The podium?
Darren, they knew that they had a problem when he was running from his basement.
Yes.
And remember when he came out a couple of times, he'd be in one state thinking that, and his speech talking about, I'm in Iowa, and he's in another state.
Oh, my God,
the guy clearly had neurological deficits during the campaign, and all they did was prop this guy up with amphetamines and drug him up so this guy could function. And it's sad that these satanic
people... This is the leader of the free world that has to protect and has all the secrets of the country. I mean, this is scary. This is scary that this man has got to be there this many more months. But I'm sure they're going to get rid of him very soon. And I see it this way. He's going to get the 25th out. They're going to 25 him out. Kamala's going to be all jumping for joy. Look at the president, the first woman. And they're going to say, yes, you are, for about a week. Then she's going to appoint Big Mike, Michelle Obama. Big Mike Michelle is going to come in and be the VP. And then... what do you call Kamala Harris will have a tragic accident. They may take her for a ride in JFK's limousine. Come on, we want to go and bring it out and celebrate this year and celebrate the life of JFK. Don't worry, we're going with the top down.
Darren, this is funny, but the saddest part is that it is possible.
It is more than possible. These are the ruthless criminals. These are the same people that put a bullet in Kennedy's head. This is the same people. This next generation of their offsprings. Okay, they're taking away. The deep state is real. Okay, they stole the elections. That's real. Okay, I mean, even in my race in Congress, when they brought in Byron Donalds and they put two other people that they paid so they could take away votes from me, I was holding a tie for second place. How do you go into eighth place? If the worst case scenario, third place, never eighth place. They wanted to take my name out of the people's thing to say, this guy don't deserve that. We decide who you like. I am a resident, and then the newspaper, the fake media, says, you want a recount? No, I want an investigation. And now, over here, there's a race. Now, here the governor appointed a new Board of Election person. Now, I told you I brought a lawsuit because Mario Diaz-Balart was not elected in 2020. He was appointed to the congressional seat because he was unopposed. That doesn't matter. You got to have an election, and nobody could vote against him. He wasn't on the ballot. He stopped it from anybody doing write-in. Okay, so now that happens. Now, when Jennifer Edwards refused me, and I said, listen, I got phone calls, and these people want to vote from the hospital. She said to me, in an open room at a luncheon, that's too complicated. I said, I wasn't asking you a question. I said, what help do you need for me to accomplish that? It is your duty under the 14th Amendment, Title II, to provide access to disabled. Now, how are you going to do it?
Exactly.
So she didn't. I brought lawsuit against her. She says, I'm taking an early retirement. The whole county thought that she retired early. She ran like a weak dog. And then two judges from Pensacola told the magistrate, get rid of that case. Dump that case. Two corrupt judges from Pensacola told a judge out of district, a judge from another district in federal court cannot expound on a case. He has no jurisdiction. And he did, two of them. Two senior judges. That means Mario's got people on his payroll. That means these people are staying, and they're going to steal more of the country if we don't stop them. That's why I want to encourage folks in Florida area, in Naples area, to get rid of Mario Diaz-Balart. He's there too long. Johnny Fratto is an up-and-coming kid from Chicago that lives in Florida. His wife is from Miami. They're a young family with two kids. I'm helping him on the campaign as his consultant advisor, and he's running for the seat. And I told him we have to spend time in Miami. Collier County, we got it locked down, but Miami is where the corruption is. So to fight it, we have to go down there with a motorcade, and we'll make the people like it because they don't like him. I had the majority of my support in Miami, and it showed like 300 votes. That's all. And the Cubans hate him, and he's Cuban. They hate him. On my vote, it said 17% in a brand-new district. And I got with 17%. That's very good for the first time, but it's very bad because I know that I had more support in Miami. I know for a fact.
Of course. Right.
Okay, I had more. I had people telling their families to vote. I was on the Spanish radio station. They were translating just to have me. I was on Taco Tuesday. They loved me. They said, Aquino. How do I lose? How does this guy in a new district win? That's how dirty. These are the evidence behind that they left us to see that the Democrats screwed up. You think we're that stupid? We're not. Now, like I told people, I said, when we attack a country, the government's not mad. We are. We're coming for you. You understand? We, the people, all of the functions of this great nation is us. We've allowed,
that's right,
in these past few elections, we've entrusted people thinking old school things were working. Listen, my parents were Democrats, but they were good people. Okay? And they voted for what was right. And they didn't just vote Democrat. They didn't do that. Okay? That's the way it used to be. So what I'd like to hope in your listeners, listen, Democrats are good people. They're fellow Americans. But if you think you're going to be a radical Democrat and come up on me because you don't like my Donald Trump shirt, you better think twice. Think twice before you make your outburst, because you're not going to walk away. You're not going to give anybody a slap. It's going to be on. It's going to be on because you're provoking a fight because you are led by the demon machine to make you think I'm your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm just a big supporter of the guy that I want for president because I know what he can and will do, a massive deportation. Yeah. And if I became mayor in New York or the public advocate, I would fight them in court. See, they don't know how to fight these people because they're career politicians. I'm a career patriot. I'm fighting for the guy next to me. I'm fighting for my fellow New Yorkers, my fellow Americans. Listen, you grow up in New York, no matter where you go, you're always going to be a New Yorker. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. They say, you're from New York. That's right. What of it? No, I like New York. I used to. It was the place that never slept, and that was real. Frank Sinatra, the chairman of the board, wrote songs about New York, because it's a great place. Presidents, Washington saved New York for a second time, took it back from the British, and it was one of the first 13 colonies that was a constitutional republic. New York is a special place.
Do you know that Teddy Roosevelt? Do you know that Teddy Roosevelt was the police commissioner?
I do.
In New York?
I do. And they had the estate there. They still have little museums there. He did. Yes, he did.
He cleaned up the corruption in New York back then, and it was bad. Yeah. And that's how he became president. We have to get rid of this corruption. It cannot stand.
We have to get rid of the corruption. That's right. And but what they did was they were attacking us on both sides. Corruption. Now it got deeply embedded, and we know it now as deep state. They're trying to say, "Oh, there's no deep state." Yes, there is. When you cast votes. Listen, even on my Twitter, let me show you on my own account. On my own Twitter account, I had 32,000. People have texted me, "Dan, why'd you unfollow me? Did you like me?" I said, "What are you talking about? I didn't unfollow you." I said, "Well, that explains the 22,000 followers. They can control who follows me and who doesn't follow me." Imagine. Now, I don't trust Elon Musk either. Or Elon Musk didn't clean house good enough. You understand? Because they took him away. And they're saying, I said, my friend Israel Cruz running for state senate over there in New York. He said to me, "Darren, why'd you?" I said, "I didn't unfollow you." Okay? The only guy, you think they would have maybe unfollowed. Scott Baio follows me. Justin Bieber follows me. And, I have some really good followers. You follow me? I got a lot of people.
Yeah.
I said, I didn't unfollow them. And so now we know. So now, every time my Instagram goes up, I got somebody watch. They try and pull 1,000, 2,000. Now it's up to 105 again. But they keep taking them down by the thousands because they don't want me to have reach. Because I'm the kind of candidate, and Chauncey, you know this.
That's right. You're fighting for everybody, Darren.
You're fighting know it. For everybody, and when I come out, I do. And I told my friend, I said, look, one of these other candidates, he said, I'm fighting the LGBTQT, whatever, agenda. I said, take that off.
Right.
You're not fighting that. You're not fighting that. You're fighting transgender in schools as a curriculum. You're not fighting that.
Exactly.
Freedom is here in America. They're free to be gay. That's okay. That's God's business, not my business. Okay? God will deal with that. You have to, I said, who told you that? A Democrat to put that on there? An infiltrator? Don't put that. We're not against their existence. Okay? People, listen. People are led down a road. You don't know what their lifestyle was. They could have been abused by a mother. And it's out there, and it's true. A guy becomes gay because the woman in his life, which is like, when we grow up in normal families and not so dysfunctional, you have a loving parent on both sides, and there's no abuse. When these things happen, most of the time it's through abuse. And, I'm not against that. I'm not against somebody. I got friends that went gay. It's okay. Listen, that's a personal choice.
Darren, Darren, I don't know any of us that are conservative or anyone in our sphere that is against gays or whatever they are. We all don't have do what you want to do. It's your life. We don't have a problem.
That's it. It's your
but
body,
when you're trying to shove it down our throats, okay, and
that's
you're trying to
now we have a problem.
Come into our schools and shut down our parents and trying to call our parents terrorists. The United States government's calling parents terrorists because they're pushing back against the satanic, because that's what it is. There should be no men dressed up as women, okay, teaching to kids, okay?
How about them going in front of the schools protesting with their junk out, letting little kids see their thing swinging over there? What is that? They should have been arrested for indecent exposure.
You got grown men in a parade walking around with jock straps on. I'm like, when is God going to come down to intervene? Because this stuff,
that's a good day to come
20
down.
or 30
Give them
years
a little
ago,
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. If it was 20 or 30 years ago, these guys would be in a mental institution.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would be paying them any attention, men walking around as with women. Nobody would be paying you any attention. But once Obama got into office, okay, now he wants to push that transgender, that gay, whatever, LB, whatever, TQ, whatever R agenda on the American people by trying to impose executive orders for bathrooms and sports and all this other garbage.
Yeah, what is that? You can't do that. It's unconstitutional. You can't.
Why don't they create a transgender sports for transgenders? Why do you want to try to
let them all play with each other? Right? Let them play with each other.
Yeah.
They want an army.
Right.
Go ahead. Play with yourselves. Okay?
Exactly.
Isn't that what it's about? You want to be with your own peeps? Go ahead. Nobody's telling you you can't, but don't ever think, and I said this on live videos, and they shut down I can't make live broadcasts on Instagram. They said, you're not able at this time. It's First Amendment violated. But I said, listen, I got nothing against anybody that's gay. I had a friend that went transgender, but he doesn't do what you folks are doing. That's his own personal feeling. He feels trapped in his body, and I get that. I worked with this guy on Law and Order, and I get it. He's my friend. He sat there and told me this. I said, it's okay, bro. Listen, I don't know what to call you now, but I said, Bill, what did I call you? Benny, what do I do? I said, but you're my friend. I get it. You're my friend. And I got nothing bad to say. You're a decent human being. He's not going into a school and say, hey, look, you got to get used to this, and you got to learn about this. No, not now, not ever. And I would never allow that as the mayor.
Right. There's a lot of gays and transgenders that are against this stuff with these stuff in schools.
They get a parade. They get a whole month. They get a whole month to celebrate their gayism.
But they do it on June, and we got Juneteenth. But do you know what June is? Juneteenth for black people.
Yes.
The Juneteenth, the celebration of Juneteenth is in June, and they put the Pride Month on Juneteenth.
Ahead of it, I know. It's distorted. Listen, I agree with Morgan Freeman. and he said this years ago. So now Joe Biden makes the same comment that I know right away, because not only am I an actor when I work, but, I met Morgan, and, he's just a nice guy. Every nice guy gets a scandal thrown at him. But Morgan said that, listen, Black history is part of American history. I don't have to have a month for, and I agree.
Exactly.
I said, like, we don't have Italian month. They celebrate a day. We have Puerto Rican Day parade. We get the, so, I mean, okay, you want a month, that's fine. But what about veterans? I think if anybody should get a month of celebration, it's veterans. A month of honor and a month of celebration.
Donna,
and I said
Darren,
that. I said if I become, yes.
These Democrats will name streets, name holidays, name months, but they'll do not a damn thing for the poor people that are in their districts, crime-ridden, drugs, but they'll play the politics. Oh, we gave you a month.
Oh, yeah.
We gave you a day. That's all they do is rhetoric.
They do that to make them think that they're on your side. They're the most evil. Look, Joe Biden was a KKK. He wore the hood. So I don't know what people are thinking. But we have to get together as a people and say, wait a second, I'm not your enemy. And when that fails, then they make it black against white. And we know how that bullshit is going, and that ain't right either.
There's a lot of people drinking the Kool-Aid, and they like drinking that Kool-Aid in their program. And you know what, Darren? I don't think that we can unplug them. I think that they're too far gone. I really do. I really do.
Right,
it's like
Chauncey.
you look at the guy. I look at the guy you're telling me about. You're with your wife, and this guy acts doesn't even know if you're a can of paint, and he's acting out of character because you got a shirt on. You can't even. You wouldn't be able to even talk to that person. I think that these people are shot.
He looked at me like he wanted to hit me, and I looked at him like, "Go ahead." I said, "Go ahead." With my friend, I was in the car. We were doing a little canvassing, like when we spoke earlier, helping another candidate. These are Patriot candidates, an older gentleman to work in the State House here in District 81, George Foley. So we're helping him. I go, now I put the stickers on the car. And me and my friend was talking. I said, do you imagine us? He said, I just can't believe what the energy that these Democrats are feeding people to fight each other. And he's a Christian as well. And I said, man, he doesn't know. We carry guns. I'm licensed to carry. If he picks his arm up, and I had open heart surgery, I can't swing it out with you. But if you're going to aggress me, I'm going to give you a shot, and it's not going to be in the legs. Okay? You're going to get one bullet.
Exactly.
And that's it. You're going to go, and they're going to take you away in a bag. You came and aggressed me. You could have came up and said, well, I really don't. You could have asked me a question. Why are you supporting Donald Trump? Why not ask me the question? Why not be the American you used to be before you drank that poisonous Kool-Aid? I'd love to say, tell me why, right? Because this is something, I hope your people are listening. Go up to a Trump person. Go up to a Biden. Why are you supporting him? Tell me two good things why, and I'll walk away. Something. I mean, we're smart people, especially New Yorkers. You can't pull the wool over our eyes, but apparently the Democrats did. Okay? The Democrats did, because now they're saying, wait a second. You threw veterans out of the hotel, paid $90 more, and put an illegal, a potential killer, murderer, rapist, drug lord in place of an honorable veteran who served this country, and now he's disabled, and he's homeless. And you're giving that guy a $1,000 gift card and paying his rent, giving him health care, and then today they're giving him Social Security cards. What are they, out of their minds?
You know what the best is, Darren? Is that all of these leftist, liberal Democrats, governors, mayors, they all campaign on creating sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. And to see all of them now backpedaling.
Oh, yeah. And it's like
trying to blame Trump and trying
to blame Trump for the border crisis. How can they, where do they get the faith to even say that? Because they think, and this is bad for the Democratic Americans that are really patriots that just grew up Democrat from the struggling days when Democrats were doing good things by the people. And they still, for the longest time, when I grew up in East Harlem, they had the Democratic clubs there. And my grandmother used to go there because everybody was a Democrat, because they would give them jobs if they helped out in the campaign. I told the Republicans out here, I said, you need to give the loyal people work. Give them a job. Give them a job. What's wrong with you? I said, why do you think they get so much? Because they remember, well, they're going to get a job. They'll go out and campaign for a guy, and they're going to give me work. And that's a good thing. It's good to work and have a day's wage where it's honest money. And that was good, but those days are gone. Now they recruit you to be a criminal, an outlaw, to fight the Republicans. They don't know what they did. They've opened a can of worms that they're going to cause problems. People are going to get hurt. Especially here. You try that crap here, you're going to get shot. We're not looking for trouble, but don't bring any because we ain't running. Well, I'm like the American flag. See those stripes? They don't run, and neither do I. We're going to set them straight. But I wish, I hope, and I pray, and I do pray every morning before I leave, that they wake up and see that this attack is against them. It's not against the president. It's about keeping us from having a guy that wants to protect the country. He wants to protect the country. He wants to protect your individual liberty. That's what a constitutional republic is, individual freedom. The founding fathers knew what they were doing because they lived in tyranny long enough. We were an idea by 56 men. And look how we spiraled out and evolved into the greatest country and the most feared. Now they're laughing at us, especially with this guy.
That's right.
But we have to take back our country. And if I do here, and they say, Darren, we've raised $1 million, it's November. We raised $2 million. Okay, I'm coming. I will come. I will, and come home on the weekends to Florida. And then if I win, which I think I could if I had the money, okay, because my personality, my loyalty to the city and to the country and to God, they'll see that my Christianity is number one. My love of country is number two, because without number one, you can't even see number two. You understand? And you get it.
You can't see anything.
And I hope, that's right. And I hope others know that we are patriots. We're not against anybody. We're not against Democrats. We just don't like the Democratic leadership that made a disgrace of our veterans. They've allowed an invasion of our country. They're trying to indoctrinate children and pervert them. That is sick. That is sick, satanic. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. And is that a sign that Jesus is coming soon? I think so.
Amen. Darren, you hit the nail on the head. The problem with the people on the left and the gentleman that disrespected himself in front of you and your wife, these people have no God in their life. God doesn't exist. And that's what we have to realize, is that we're really in a spiritual battle between good and evil right now.
Yes, we are.
And that's why when I say most of these people are programmed, the devil occupies bodies. Okay? We have to realize that.
Yes, I see it. I see it, and I hope every New Yorker sees it, every American hears it. Wake up. This is the call that God, this is the first trumpet sound, to wake up so I don't have to come yet.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
Wake up and start being responsible. Use your common sense that was given to you by God. You were not given freedom by a government. God gave you freedom. The founding fathers, Washington, would pray before he went into battle because he knew there was a greater being than himself. And look what we have, America. And who's trying to tear it down? The same one that put Jesus on the cross. He put those, Jesus put himself on the cross, but the people who crucified him are the ones you're up against. That's what people need to see. The people that crucified the Savior of the world, he did nothing to no one but offer a hand of peace. Healed people. They said, that's not good. You can't do that. And even the Jewish community, right? He showed you that, and this is where we are today. He showed you that the people who were for you will be against you. He showed you how the thinking would be. He gave you an early view, and then he left it behind so that you could go back and read it in case you forgot. that this is what
Amen.
happens. This is now the new Sodom and Gomorrah, right? What are they saying? New York is Babylon. America is Babylon, right?
That's
well,
right. That's
it's looking that way. It's looking that way because you got reckless leaders. You got Congress members sniffing drugs, doing drugs, having orgies on Capitol Hill.
You have church leaders.
With taxpayer dollar.
You have church leaders doing the same thing, taking money from massive amount of people, telling them what they want to hear, living in multi-million-dollar homes.
Started my organization.
And they're not standing up against this transgender. Look at, I wonder, where's all these black churches and Spanish churches standing and pushing back against that transgender, reading the kids? Where are these churches?
Well, there's a few of them that were standing. I saw a good black church. It was I didn't get the name, but he came out there. This pastor was powerful. He was powerful.
Yeah.
He was standing, talking about Trump and talking about what the satanic movement of the transgender, trying to take the children, indoctrinate the children. These children are God's children. Anyone who takes that move is taking a serious step of losing their life forever, separated from God for all eternity. Okay? They don't understand. I mean, look, I watched these other organizations. Okay? Now, I met Frank Stiller before, when it was just a firefighter organization. He saw my organization and people were telling him, you should be like Darren. But they can't because I own the name and the rights because I started it with nobility. I don't make money. Everybody volunteers because I've tried to bring the ability without and the disabled to bring their liberties back and their freedoms back. This guy turned it around like Wounded Warriors, and he's made it now firefighters, police, and veterans. He's stepping on my toes and charging you $11 a month. He helped maybe 500 houses. You got 125,000 homeless veterans with disabilities. Don't tell me you're doing some. First of all, what are you doing stepping on my mission? You can't do that. It's illegal. So I'm going to send – I'm really tired. People said, but he's helping. When you help to make money, you're putting on the same thing that God said. There are people out there doing it for show. Those people are not honorable. They're doing it so you see them doing it. Okay? My fight got the recognition of 6 presidents, even Democrats, even Hillary Clinton says, Darren, you do good things. You're really – this is what you do. This is what you're good at. I said, thank you, Hillary. This is before all this scandal. People recognize my genuineness to really make the change because I was the voice for the voiceless. God gave me a mission. I accept it.
Amen.
And I do it in faith.
Amen.
And I'm happy to do it. It gives me great joy because here's how he grew me up. At the polio and the club foot, I was the kid they laughed at. How about now?
Yep.
Now I became a candidate. I became the CEO and founder of one of the most noblest organizations in the country that takes no paycheck. FOP offered me $1 million a year if I let them take over because nobody could use the call name. I won't do it, I said. I won't do it. This is ordained and inspired by God and Ronald Reagan. I will not do that. I didn't make this to make money. God gave me other talents to do that. So,
Darren,
this is so. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on my podcast and rap with me about America, about New York, Florida, and what's going on in our nation.
It's always a pleasure. I got to tell you, though, we got a lot of rhinos in Florida, and we got to fight.
Amen. You are a beacon of hope and pray.
Thank you.
That they come up with the money to bring you back to New York to help clear it up. You have a long history in New York. Yes, you have a long history in New York. And
all of the monumental changes and access I made started in New York City. Started there, and Ronald Reagan helped and inspired, and he had the team stay with me for the last 6 years of his administration. He was an inspiration, and I didn't know until I made until much later, that he was a Christian. I didn't know. God knew. Mm-hmm. And that's why he was the president that answered me. And there's a great story about that we spoke of. And I just hope, for New York's sake, that New York comes together, raise the money. I will come. I will serve. I will serve with honor, integrity, and character, and I will fight for every single New Yorker because I want to change the mind of the Democrat. I don't want to fight him. I want to change his mind. I want to show, look what you've been not doing, and look how better it is that you got a true Republican, not a rhino, not a politician, but one of your own, a New Yorker who's fighting for the same things that you believe in. The only difference is that you've given me the keys to the city hall and said, okay, Darren, we're going to give you a shot. Give me one shot. Give me one term and watch what I do. That's what I want, New York.
Amen.
Give me one chance to prove myself, and I won't fail you. And every New Yorker
Darren,
will embrace me.
Please
Yes,
share
sir.
with my listeners if they would like to donate to your organization. Can you share the
Absolutely.
information if
I
they
will.
would like to donate
You can
to the
go.
organization?
You can go online. You can go. It's real simple, folks. www.adaadvocates.org. That is the most noblest organization. Google me. Read the history. I'm not out here to cheat anybody. I'm not here to make a living off an organization that's a charity. I'm here to enrich and enlighten folks that have families with disabilities, to help them and show them the way. 2 people came on and said, could you help me? That's what we're here for. I got a young girl inspired. Kids that want, can we volunteer for your organization? Yes, you can. These donations go, when we do special campaigns, 99% of your donation goes to the individual we fight for. We don't take a nickel. Yes, go ahead.
I can attest to Darren's generosity, because when I needed help, Darren was there. Darren
Thank you.
is a person that will help you in your time of need. I will always be your friend, and I'll always be thankful for your friendship. You know, like I said, I was in need. I called you. You didn't hesitate. And I know that's the man you are, and that's the type of mayor or public advocate. And even if you're not even holding those positions, that's who you are from your heart. And I'm attesting to that to all my listeners. So if you're able to donate, thank you.
Yeah,
if you're able
please,
to donate,
please go to
please
go to www.adaadvocates.org. You could change your life. You have the power by a donation. Now, listen, if you got, you could give more. But if you got $5, $10, when I go to the hospital, okay, I leave from Naples, and it's the hospital where I had the open Cleveland Clinic in Weston. When I go there, it's gas money. I stay there for 3 days. I pay for the hotel out of my own expense. I bring the dogs, and I go into those rooms, and I spend 25 hours over there walking through the hospital, telling my story, talking to people that just are waking up from open heart surgery that lived. So your $5, $10, that helps pay gas money. You're making an impact on somebody's life. I'm not tunnels to towers where I'm saying, give me $11 a month, $11 a week, and I keep everybody on salary. Everybody in this organization donates their time. So by you donating to us, you're helping us complete the mission to go and be the voice for the voiceless, to bring joy to those that are sad. So that's what I do. And if you do raise the money in New York and want me to come back, I will do it with honor and integrity. And you may want to keep me 2 terms. You may not want to let me leave, but I would only serve a maximum. I would only serve a maximum of 2 terms. And, you know, it wasn't my greatest ambition. The only reason I wanted to be in politics was to be the stronger voice for the voiceless. That could be your grandmother, your grandfather, your autistic child, your Down syndrome child, to make sure that they get a fair shake because they're entitled to it, because this is the United States of America as long as we hold on to it. So on that note, Chauncey, thank you for having me. Thank you for promoting the organization and my campaign, if it comes into fruition. But, hey, God is good all the time. So if that's his plan, then this will come into play. So I'm ready and willing. It's up to you, folks. Chauncey, thank you, brother. It's always a pleasure to be with you, man.
You as well, Darren. And, yes, if you decide to run, we will have Darren back on the podcast. And please, if you're able to donate $1, anything, it'll make a difference. It'll allow Darren to be able to help another person. So we appreciate whatever support you can lend to Darren's organization. There's not many organizations that don't take pay, but if you call his organization, even if you're not a veteran, he'll help you. And that's the type of officials that we need, is that when somebody comes with a problem, they want to solve the problem, not push it and kick the can down the road. Darren's a stand-up guy. I hope that they come up with the money, to bring him back to New York. And I just want to remind you guys, the money is to help us to fight a corrupt system. That's the biggest problem. And most people that are paying attention to politics, I know my listeners understands what we're up against. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And I will also add Darren's link to his donation. So whoever reads this later on, in the description, there'll be a link there that you can tag and hit, and that'll take you directly to donate. This Wednesday, we're going to have back on Star General James Hutton, and we're going to talk about China. China has been flexing their military might, technology might, buying property all over the world. We're going to break this down and see exactly what China's been doing, what they want to do, and what the general or colonel will bring to our attention on what America can do to combat what China is doing. But he also agrees that we need Donald Trump in office. There is no one that can turn the table of time of what's going on right now but Donald Trump. He's proved that in his first election, and he's going to prove it again. Tuning in. As always, you can follow us on Twitter. We're on all social media platforms, as you know. I want to thank all my followers and supporters for tuning in. If you're able to donate to us, we don't take money from big corporations, so what you hear is what you get, live and unfiltered, uncensored. We'd appreciate it. American First Patriot on PayPal or, on Cash App. I apologize. So again, have a good evening, and we'll see you again on this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock with retired Colonel James Hutton, and we're going to be talking about China. Have a good night, everyone, and God bless you all.